Once upon a time, there was a creative genius named Pascal.
Frankly, I'm too scared to ask about the frog.
Chameleon?
Nuance.
Oops, wrong Pascal. Anyway, Blaise Pascal was born at Clermont-Ferrand, France on June 19, 1623. His father, Etienne, was a civil servant at the time. Etienne served as a king's counselor. Blaise's mother, Antoinette, died in 1626. Blaise was only 3 years old when she passed, and his two sisters, Goberte and Jacqueline, grieved with their father. It was in 1631 that the family moved to Paris, France. They began a new life. Etienne was still a civil official, but he did not neglect to educate his only son. He placed special emphasis on learning dead languages like Latin and Greek. These were often used in religious settings in those time periods, so it only made sense that Pascal was drawn to religious philosophy later in his life. While Blaise was allowed to study languages, his father thought it was best not to expose Blaise to geometry. Etienne thought that by allowing Blaise to study geometry, that he would end up abandoning the classics. It was this denial that led to Blaise's curiosity to grow. In secret and without proper tutelage, Blaise experimented with geometrical figures. He created his own names for terms he had not even seen or heard. Blaise's father began to realize his avid interests. There are some who believe that Blaise was at a mere age of 12 when he began attending meetings at a local math academy with his father. In 1640, the Pascals moved again, this time to Rouen, France. Blaise was still privately taught by his father and worked very hard despite his poor health. During his time, he developed a new theorem, proven in geometry. He referred to it as a mystic hexagram. At the time, it was an entirely undeveloped branch of mathematics. In that same year, Pascal wrote a book, Essay on Conics. It reads of dealing with the geometry of cones. The mystic hexagram was of central importance in this novel. When Pascal turned 19, he invented an early form of today's computers. He called his a Pascaline. It was used to assist his father to calculate taxes. The Pascaline was able to add and subtract by having someone move a series of gears and cylinders. He tried to sell the device to make a great amount of money, but failed to do so because of the cost, and the fact that it was too far ahead of his time. Over a time of 50 years, approximately only 50 Pascalines were produced. Pascal's discoveries continued on. In 1648, due to experiments, Pascal was able to show the reality of vacuum and atmospheric pressure. Later that same year, Pascal published a narrative of the experience of the balance of liquors. During 1654, Pascal accomplished two of his most noteworthy achievements. He created a table of binomial coefficients, or rather, Pascal's triangle. Pascal also worked with problems that involved games of chance, thus creating probability theory. In addition, Pascal created the Treaty of the Mathematical Triangle in 1654, the Parties Rule in 1654, the Provincial Letters correspondence from 1656 to 1657, Elements of Geometry during 1657, Spirit of Geometric and Art of Persuasion published during 1657, Roulette History in 1658, The Art of Persuasion in 1660, Thoughts in 1670, Pothmus, and it all came to an end August 19th of 1669.